Oh, it's over here, so I can. Hi, Anthony. Hey, Nika. Hey, D'Angela. Good to see you join in. Hi, Kitora. Hi, guys. We have people log. You ready for the word? I'm gonna try to give it. I'm gonna try to wait till some more people log on. Usually we try to wait till like 5 minutes in, so I'll start talking maybe around 8:05, and we'll jump into it. Right now, we're just gonna give everybody a few minutes to log in. How's everybody's day today so far? Hi, Kitora. D'Angela, you already rolling, girl. Listen, your business is already moving. So whatever I share, you just pick it up and take it and run with it. While you guys are logging in, if you could hit the share buttons on Facebook and Instagram, I'd appreciate it. Bill nailed the chef. Hey, girl. Hey, Jess. How are you? We got 3 minutes. We're still going to wait for people to... I don't know how to share on IG. I don't think you can share on IG. Just maybe my Facebook friends can share it. Thank you, Josephine. But you can tag people that you think they'll... and I'm calling you Bill, but what's your real name? But you can tag people that you feel like this may be a good session to watch or to listen to, and tag them. I appreciate it. Hey, Gary, Nicole, Siobhan, Frankie, Eric, Phyllis. And of course, at the end, I'm going to try to answer any questions that people have. It's a lot of information, and it's basically impossible for me to try to share all the information in one session. So for the month of August, we're going to do it every Monday to try to get through as much as we can. As much information that I can share on Facebook and Instagram, we'll do it until the end of the month. So every Monday, 8 p.m. we'll be here. And then in September, I'll actually be hosting a class, a webinar, where you can register, and we'll give you a lot of information that you can take with you and use in your business. But for now, we're just going to try to share what we can via Facebook and Instagram. I need to do it on Periscope, but I don't really use Periscope like that. Hey, Sharif. So 1 minute, and then we're going to get into it. So again, those of you on Facebook, if you could hit the share button, I'd appreciate it. And then we'll get to going. It's hot. All right, so it's 8:05. We're going to get started. So tonight's session, for the most part, I called it How to Earn Seven Figures in the Events and Catering Industry. And I felt like it was important because I think that some people think that those might be unrealistic numbers. And in reality, in real life, a lot of catering companies and a lot of event planners make 7 figures plus. 7 figures, 1 to 10 million, or 1 to 9 million, and then 10 million is, higher than that. But I thought it was important to share, like I said, for this month, a little bit of insight, a little bit of knowledge that I have that I can share with you, and hopefully you guys can take it and expand your businesses or grow your businesses or start your business and have some goals that you can set and accomplish. So the first thing is making 7 figures. Is it realistic? Is it possible? Is there opportunity for it? Absolutely, yes, you can do it. It's extremely possible. It's very possible to do 7 figures or more. 6 figures is somebody's salary. 7 figures is what at minimum what a catering company or an event planning company can bring in on an annual basis. At the end of the day, it's about the structure of the company and if you have the type of clients who are willing to pay. So really quickly, we're not going to be on here all night, but I'll go through some of the core keys and some of the core steps that should be in place if you're looking to start, expand, or grow your event planning company or your catering business or whatever you have that's in between in the hospitality industry. The first question is are you even structured? And excuse me, you're going to see me keep looking because I have notes, right? Are you structured, or is your company structured to service 7 figures worth of work? Meaning, is your business structured to have that? So the first thing that we're going to talk about is company structure. But before I talk about company structure, I want to also be very real. You're not going to go and make 7 figures tomorrow. And if you do, call me because I want to know how you did it. But realistically, you're not going to go tomorrow or maybe even in the next 30, 60, 90 days. It doesn't mean that you'll make 7 figures. What it means is that basically you can set yourself up over a period of time to generate that type of revenue in your company. And if you're structured right, it could be done. If you're not structured right, you might be in the hole and keep wondering, why don't I get these type of clients? Or why am I not being able to see that type of money come in? So I just want to give a little bit about myself and how I got to where I am now and why I can talk about that type of revenue being earned. So a lot of you guys know me, especially on Facebook. I think a lot of my friends and family, hey Spank, a lot of my friends and family are on Facebook and may or may not know my journey or testimony. But for those who don't know, I have been in a family that didn't do anything but ooze hospitality since I was young. My father was a chef. He was in the kitchen, and I grew up in the kitchen under him. And I always remember my family having like these huge events all the time growing up. And so by the time I got to my teenage years, my mom used to mention to me, oh, you need to go to culinary school. You cook all the time. You always want to do all these things. Go to culinary school. And I was like, whatever. And so I ended up going to culinary school. But I remember being young and getting started and selling dinners out of my mom's house. Like the neighbors on the street, they would always smell the food that I was cooking in my mom's house. And they were like, we want some food. And I was like, well, you have to pay for it. And they would pay for it. And so that's how I originally started, at my mom's house. For those of you who are from Cleveland, on Glendale, selling food out of my mom's kitchen. That's literally how I got started. And so then I went away to culinary school, and I came back, and like I mentioned before, I worked my way up from hotels and independents and restaurants. I've had restaurants that did horrible. I'm talking about all the way failed. And then I've had restaurants that did really, really well. It really just depended on where I was at in my life. But of course, you know, I was young and dumb and made a lot of crazy dumb decisions somewhere between 18 and 25. But for the most part, I was able to recoup. So I made the decision ultimately that this was really where my passion was at. You know, it kind of just clicked one day. I woke up and I was like, oh my God, this is really what I wanted to do. But I didn't want to be on the line cooking. When I first came out of culinary school, I was working at the Wyndham doing the internship, and I was cooking on the line with the guys. And it wasn't cute back there. I had to cover my hair, and I wanted to be cute. I didn't want to be in the back in the kitchen. But that's all another story. But so long story short, I kind of worked my way from the bottom all the way up. And so as I mentioned to you guys before, I've joined companies, or I've been with other companies, and just a lot of opportunities were presented to me. And so I wanted to prove to myself that I could do certain things. So I agreed to a contract with another company to basically get them from point A to point B. And we set a timeline about, can Candy accomplish this? And thank God we were able to, within a certain period of time, get from 9 million to, I'm saying 9, meaning like 0 millions, to millions, to those 7 figures in the time frame that we originally set. So back to what we're originally talking about, earning 7 figures in your business. And for me, it was about, if I can make 7 figures for somebody else, why can't I do it for myself? So I eventually got to the point after I had did it for another company and tested it and seen that everything worked. Now it's time to do it for myself, because now I know from the mistakes that I have made in the past and where I was at in my life now, and seeing everything that I had practiced or said, putting it to work and putting the work in, it came to fruition. So the first thing is the company structure. If you're taking notes, if you're not taking notes, grab a pen, write it down. The first thing you want to do is make certain that your company is structured. And what do I mean by structured? Do you have your articles of incorporation, whether you're an LLC, whether you're a corporation, whether you're S Corp, C Corp, whatever it is, are you certified? I mean, do you have that in place? Do you have all of your state permits, all of your licenses? Do you have your COI, certificate of insurance? And I'm sorry, sometimes I'll use lingo that is more food service, but do you have your certificate of insurance? Do you have all of those things in place in order to be able to do, and I'm going to use, for lack of a better term, I'll use Google as an example company, right? If you want to do business with Google, you have to be completely legitimate. So in order for that to happen, all your ducks got to be lined up. So do you have your company structure in place? If you don't know what it means to have those things in place and you don't know how to put those things in place, those of you who have registered or plan to register for the actual webinar that we're going to do in September, we're going to give you all the information that you need to set your company up and to get your company structured to be able to do business with the larger companies. But again, that first key is making certain that you're registered everywhere you're supposed to be, that your business is legitimate and ready to roll. So the second part of that company structure is determining what services that you're going to offer. So if you're a planner, are you only offering planning services? Are you offering rental services? If you're a catering company, you have to make a decision if you're a drop-off caterer, a full-service caterer, or if you're a little bit in between, if you're doing both, and all of the services that you're going to provide in that company. So again, company structure, your company needs to be set up and organized the right way, and you need to determine what actual services that you're going to offer to your clients. So that was number one. Number two, and this everybody already knows, and some of the stuff that I'm going to share you probably already know, but number two is making certain that you have great customer service. So I have clients, both corporate and private, that love me. Not because I'm just the sweetest person in the world, of course I am, but because the relationship that I've established with them from the moment that they met me, I was always just very open with them and talking to them and just working to establish great rapport with my clients. So I have clients who liked me so much and who were so impressed by the services that we did, they would spend $25,000 to $50,000 a year. They won't host events with anybody else. If they're having an event, they're not even going to be hands-on. They're going to call me and say, hey, Candy, I'm having this event. Can you take care of it? And that's it. And all I have to do is send the invoice, and that's the end of the day. So you'll get clients like that, but it goes back to being able to establish rapport, having good customer service, being jovial, being nice, just being an overall good person with your clients. And that's how you kind of keep those relationships and keep them in the loop. I'm known for sending my clients gifts, not because I just need to send them gifts, but because it's their birthday and I want to send them a card. Or one of my clients, her daughter had a baby and I sent the baby a teddy bear. That's the same client that spends $50,000 a year in events with me. Not because I sent her a teddy bear, but because you remember the little things. Customer service at the end of the day in any business. This is no matter what type of business you had, customer service or have. Customer service is key. It's what's going to take you wherever you're going. Good customer service, tried and true. It works. Number three, proposals. And I want to spend a little bit of time on this, even though we don't have all night. For those of you who are in the hospitality industry or in the catering, event planning, it's crucial that the proposals that you send out are professional. If you're sending out a proposal that looks like it's not a proposal, that looks like you just wrote something up or just typed something up in Excel, then there's a lot of times that clients won't even give you a second glance when they see your email come through. But if your proposal is professional and it looks good and it's clean, then they're going to say, hey, let me take a look at this. And they're going to be impressed by whatever it is that you send over. If you're competing against a large catering company or a large event planning firm, that company is sending out an amazing proposal. Nobody's just going to spend $50,000 or $100,000 on an event and you're sending something over on an Excel spreadsheet saying this is how much it costs. No, they want to see something professional and that looks good. So it's important that you have the proper software and the proper programs to write good proposals. And I'm going to give you a little hint. When I send my clients proposals for full service events, they get two from me. They get a proposal that is very detailed, and it includes everything about their event, from the color palette. It looks amazing. It's like a whole frame for them to go through. It's like a presentation. And then they get the financial parts in black and white. Here's the bottom line. This event will cost you, you have 300 people, it's going to cost you $150,000. It's important for you to invest in yourself, invest in the right programs, invest in the right software, invest in the right classes to learn how to put proposals together, because proposals are what wins the ticket every single time. I cannot tell you how many clients I have been able to bring on, or who were willing to work with me just because the proposal was everything. And I don't say that to brag. I say it just to say your proposals will take you far. Again, if you don't know how to write proposals, if you don't know what a professional proposal should look like, then again, you can take that class in September that we'll be hosting. We'll announce a date probably next Monday, what day it will actually be, to learn how to do it. We'll give you templates of proposals that you can use. We'll give you the information for the software that you can purchase to be able to prepare professional proposals on a regular basis. And another thing about proposals, and this is really quickly, do not take 2 and 3 days to send your client back a proposal, because whoever your competition is using the expensive software or using the software and getting a proposal back to that client within the next day, or if not the same day. So if you're taking a week to send your client a proposal, they've already found another event planner, or they're already found another catering company to do the work, because nobody wants to wait to see how much it's going to cost. You're supposed to be professional, so you should be able to put that together in a really quick turnaround or a really quick time frame. So having the right key to number 3, which is the proposals. Make sure you can turn them around, in a good time, make certain that they're professional, make certain that they look good. If you don't know what one looks like, again, send me a message. When we post the class information for September, take the class. It's worth it to invest in yourself. I've been doing this for a long time. This is not anything that you have to, most people have to go to school to learn this stuff. We're going to try to share as much information. Again, I'm going to try to share as much as I can on IG and Facebook over the next couple of weeks. But other than that, you can take the class in September. So number 4. This is a good one. Delivering the product and doing actual installations. So I want to talk about delivering the products. And again, I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I want to talk about, for those of you who do events and catering, invest in the equipment that you need to deliver for your event, and do it in a timely manner. There is no reason, if you have an event and you're a planner, for you to be arriving an hour early. If you're a planner and you're doing like some type of installation, installation sometimes can take a couple of days. And if you have a full service event, you should be there in the morning if your event is happening at night. If you're a catering company and it's drop off, you should be arriving an hour before your event, setting up. So by the time the event starts, you can walk out the door and your client is happy with how everything looks. They've had time to see the setup and you can walk away. If you're full service, you should be there a couple of hours before, setting up, prepping, and finishing everything so the service is ready to roll. If the event starts at 7, the catering company should not be arriving, or the planner should not be arriving at 7. You should have been there a long time ago. You're the focal point. You're the person that's making everything happen. So I just wanted to point that out, because I've seen in the past, and even I've made mistakes in the past, where when I didn't know, I was arriving 7 o'clock. They're starting at 7. I'm there at 6:30, 7 o'clock. No, you need to be there at least an hour prior or 2 hours prior, depending on the services that you're offering. So I just wanted to put that out there. I want to talk about installations for those of you that are planners, because I know there's some planners on there. Installation, and I'm going to talk about what an installation is for those who don't know. So, for instance, you're doing this gala, and there's pipe and drape and all these things that have to be installed. You're putting down a new floor. You're basically piping out the entire room. The space is not going to look like how it did yesterday. That takes time. It takes a lot of man hours. Takes a lot of money. And when you're doing it, and when a client hires you to do that, it doesn't happen the same day. Sometimes installations can take 2 and 3 days, sometimes a week. depending on the client's budget and depending on the type of services that you're providing. So you just want to make certain that you have a timeline, that your vendors are on point, and that they know what they're doing when you're doing full service events. People are spending a lot of money, and that event should come out perfect. And if it's not perfect, because they won't always be perfect, but if it's not perfect, make certain that it's only not the perfect that you're expecting to see. And what do I mean by that? It means that the client should know that it's not perfect. The client at the end of the night should be like, oh my God, this was amazing. But in your head, you're like, this could have been better. I could have did that, or I could have structured this a different way. So be a perfectionist about your craft, no matter what business that you're in, whether it's events or hospitality or something else. Be a perfectionist. Your clients will love it, and they'll always return back to you. The last thing is follow up. So it's important to follow up with your clients. Send thank you cards, request reviews from your clients. That's how you'll get new business. Like I mentioned earlier, remember birthdays, remember holidays, send holiday cards. Clients love those type of things, especially in the event field. If you're sending out birthday cards, better believe that when Christmas rolls around, they're going to be calling you, hey, can you cater my event? Can you plan my holiday party? Or my office is doing this. Can you plan this? And that's how you'll see that additional income come in, or revenue come in. I don't want to mix it to income and revenue are two different things. And we're talking about generating revenue. But that's how you'll see that revenue stream start to grow, is by offering multiple services and by following up with your clients at the end of the event and making certain that everything was on point. Calling and saying, hey, thank you for hiring us. Thank you for hiring me. I appreciate it. And then get their feedback. And then you'll have clients that might say, oh, everything was perfect, but no, or it really wasn't perfect. Everything was great, but I didn't like this. Listen to what they said, take it into consideration, and let them know that you're going to go back to, back to the drawing board and try to fix it so it doesn't happen again. But ultimately, you want to follow up. So I'm just going to repeat the things that I talked about as far as company structure, how things should be set up. And then if you have questions, I'll take questions. I'll try to answer any questions that anybody has. So the first one was company structure, making certain that your company structure was in place, right? If you don't know how to do that, again, we'll be hosting a class in September. We'll announce the date next week. You can take the class and we'll share everything that you need to get your company structured. 2, amazing customer service. That is key. Ding, 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 turn on the lights. Customer service is how you will draw your business. That's how you'll get the big companies, the ones who are spending big bucks. But you won't get it by being nasty, by answering your phone, hello, by not being professional. Answer your phones professionally. Answer your phone. Welcome to ABC Catering. Thank you for calling ABC Catering. That's what people want to see. That's what people want to hear. They want to know that you're professional. Number 3, proposals. That is key. Have a good proposal. Send out a good proposal. Let your clients know the type of services that you're offering. And even if they tell you that they don't have a budget for something, include it in their proposal so that they can see it. And maybe they'll decide, oh, hey, I do have enough space to get this, or I do have enough money. I do have a little flexibility in my budget. So those proposals, that's always the thing that you want to work on, and make certain that it's Trump tight when you send it. That needs to be perfect. And like I said, the proposal should include everything. The menu, the planning, all the services that you're going to offer. Tighten it up, send it over to the client, and impress them. The 4th thing is delivering the product and the service. Make sure that you're delivering on time, that you're installing within enough time for your event, and that everything is the way that you've planned it, and you can execute exactly what it is that you told the client. Because the last thing that you want to do is tell the client that you can do something and then turn around and you can't do it. So I have the habit of telling my clients, absolutely, when they ask me for something, Candy, can you do this? I'll be like, absolutely. If I don't know how to do that thing, I am researching it immediately, trying to figure out how we're going to make this happen, because I want to give my clients the things that they can ask for. Hey, Ken, I want to give my clients the things that they can ask for. I'm saying Ken DeAndre. Hey, DeAndre, I want to give my clients the things that they can ask for, but more importantly, I want to make certain that I can pull them off. So don't say absolutely if you can't. Be absolutely positive that you can do it. Don't say that you can deliver an elephant if you know dang on well you don't know where to get no elephant from. Okay? Lastly, follow up. Follow up with your clients after your event. Make certain that they're happy with everything that you provided. Make certain that they're happy with the services that you provided. Make sure that they're willing to use you again. Ask them to review you. Ask them to recommend you to a friend, to a family member, to somebody in their office. make certain that you'll be doing business with them again. And for the most part, that's it for today. Thank you, Yvetta. If you guys have any questions, you can shoot them now. I'll try to answer any questions that anybody has. Like I said, I know that we can't get everything out. We're only on here for a half an hour on Mondays, so I try to share what I can. But if you have a question, I'll answer it. Anybody has a question? So I'm going to stay on to 8:30. Thank you. Do I suggest going to school for event planning? It depends. So there's some schools that offer certificates for event planning. Would I say you have to go to school for it? It kind of, let me be honest. I'm not going to say you have to go to school for it. Can you learn it on your own? Absolutely. You can easily work with, oh, thank you. You can easily, DeAndre, thank you. You can easily, Yolanda, go and intern or go to work for an event planner in the area. There's some really good ones there. If going to school is not an option for you right now, I highly encourage going to school. But if it's something that is not in your schedule or not for you right now, go to work. Put yourself to work. Take some time off. Go work part-time for an event planning company and learn the tricks of the trade. Learn how they do business. Learn how they operate. Get the keys from them. Soak up all the knowledge that you can and go to networking events. Join organizations and associations that are affiliated. There's NACE, there's the ICES, there's all type of programs and things that you can do if you can't go to school to learn the tips and trades and the things that you need to be able to operate a business. And other than that, invest in yourself. Like I said, exactly, the school of creativity is in you. No school needed. Some people just have it in them. But like I said, you can definitely find somebody that's in your area, that's in Ohio, that has a really good company, a company that you say, hey, I want to be like them. Then you would definitely want to try to see if you can apply and work there. And if they're not hiring, ask, can you intern? Ask, can you work for free? You want the knowledge and it's worth it. You know what I'm saying? It's going to pay off in the long run. So I definitely would suggest that if you can't go to school. Thank you, Jamie. Love you too. Does anybody else have any questions? DeAndre, you're such a flatterer. Thank you. You're welcome. And Yolanda, whatever information you can get from them, ask me. Just because it's not on live doesn't mean I can't answer a question. I can always answer questions. Just let me know. Anybody else? Okay, guys, so I appreciate all of you joining in tonight. We're going to do this again next Monday. Next Monday is basically going to be venues, partnerships. Thank you, Aaron. Next week will be venues, partnerships, and tastings. That's a whole nother subject. All three of those, but we're going to try to get them all in together. That might change up a little bit because, like I said, we're only doing this for the month of August, and I wanted to get so much information out. But again, stay tuned. Stay on my Instagram. Stay on my Facebook. We'll be announcing the September class that you can actually register for and participate, and we'll give you a lot of information. Like I said, if you haven't started your business and you're looking to, or if you already have a business and you're looking to grow, we're going to have a ton of information in that class for you to use and move forward. Like I said, there's a lot of opportunity for 7 figures, but you have to be structured to get those type of clients. And so ultimately, at the end of this month, that's what we want people to do, to be able to secure and get high-end clients who are spending good amounts of money for events on an annual basis, growing your business. Know your worth at the end of the day. Oh, that's one other thing. For those of you guys who are chefs on here and catering companies, I just want to put this out there, and I don't mean this to be mean. Stop undercharging, okay? Charge your clients the right way. And I had this in my notes, and I didn't even mention it. It is important that you do not undercharge your clients. Number one, because you're not making any money when you do it. Number two, because they'll never want to pay you if you're undercharging them for services. Number three, you're not going to make no money. Like, how can you talk about creating 7 figures of income or revenue and you're not charging your clients the right way? I need to do a whole session on how you charge your clients and how to make this money, because I don't like some of the things that I'm seeing. It's important that you know your worth. You take your time, whether you're a planner or a catering company or a chef, you take your time to go to the store. You take your time to go shopping. You take your time to cook. You take your time to put that event together, the plan. It takes time. Time is money, and it is worth it. And guess what? If you have clients that are saying, oh, this is too expensive. Oh, I don't want to pay this. Oh, no, I can go to Costco. Well, let them go to Costco. Because if they want fried chicken from Costco, they can go and get it. Because when somebody is calling for catering, they are requesting a service. They're not just asking for Popeye fried chicken. They're asking for your fried chicken. And there's a reason that they're asking for that. So it's going to take your time. It's going to cost your money. And ultimately, you should be charging for that. Time is money. Okay? Stop being out here and not getting paid for what you're doing. Know your worth. I really wanted to listen. I could take a whole nother half an hour talking about that, but I just want to make sure that you guys are charging in the right way. If you don't know how to charge for menus, or if you don't even know how to write a menu, take the class next month. I can't express that enough. Take the August class that we're going to do. Stay tuned for it. We'll try to teach you how to write menus. We can develop menus for you. But do not undercharge. And like I said, if somebody is telling you, oh, I can go here and get it, let them go and get it. And you work on getting the clients who don't have a problem spending real money, who don't mind saying, keep my card on file, right? Because those are the type of clients that I have. They send me credit card authorization forms and keep my card on file. And every time they have an event, charge. That's what happens. We don't want money where it's a problem just to even collect the deposits. The bill is $500 and they got a problem giving you $100. We don't want those type of clients, okay? All right. That's the lesson for the day, Saints. Okay, I'm going to try not to go there. But y'all understand what I'm saying? Know your worth. Charge your clients appropriately. Doesn't matter what type of business you're in. I don't care if you're a football coach or a track coach or whatever it is you're doing. If you're an accountant, charge your clients correctly. Make them money. Because if you don't, somebody else will. And if they want something that's less expensive, let them go. Okay, it's not worth it because those end up being the clients that be a headache in the long run anyway. So let those clients go and you work on structuring your company so that you can get the big clients who don't have a problem when you say $500 or $50,000 and they do it without batting their eye. That's where you want to be. So anyway, you guys have a good night. We're 2 minutes over our time. We'll be doing this again next Monday. We'll be back 8 o'clock. Tune in. You absolutely right, girl. All money is not good money. Get the good money. Turn those clients down that don't want to pay. You hear me, D'Angela? Belle, thank you for tuning in. I hope that you got some good information from us tonight. Like I said, we'll be doing this again. Hey, Crystal, we'll be doing this again on next Monday. Tune in. Again, like I said, we'll be doing a class in September. For those of you who are interested in maybe going a little bit further than our sessions that we have on live, we'll be doing an actual webinar. It costs money to do the webinar, but you'll leave the webinar with a lot of tools, with a lot of information to actually to move forward. So even though you're getting like the basic from me, the actual how-tos and what to do and what you need to do and how to do it, that's what's going to take place in the September webinar. So good night. Thank you. And we'll see you guys next Monday. Make sure you share this. Tell a friend about it. Tell somebody to tune in. Y'all help me share this knowledge. I appreciate it. Thank you guys. Good night.